Hey guys, we're back. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Hopefully you can see me this time. Hopefully we're good. Maybe, hopefully, maybe. I don't even know how much of the last live stream we got or how far into it we got before things went crazy. Letting them know the new stream is ready. Okay. All right. Hello. Hello. Can we see me? Hopefully we're good. Yeah, I think will certain names JE are the initials of the guy. I think I started getting that unstable connection after I said that name. So maybe we just say ep. You know what that means, right? Pep in your ep. A little pep in your ep. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, probably I don't even know how much of it actually recorded. Okay, it looks like we got at least maybe 11 minutes. Oh gosh. So I was talking for like 12 minutes or probably 10, 8, 9, 10 minutes without anything happening. Let me just see. Gosh, I was on a roll too. Like, I'm like, oh, unstable connection. Well, someone should let me know if they don't see it or something. And then you guys started to say that. But then I'm like, oh, maybe it's going okay. No, it really wasn't. We were talking about those gates and oh, that's so weird. Yeah, they cut everything I was talking about. Everything since those I don't even remember. Let's see. We asked for 3 questions today. How close is it to the actual Yeah, the thing about us being gaslit and all that, I don't know. Yeah, because when I first saw this, I did see the 18 minutes you were talking about, and then I scrubbed back, and now it's only says that we only have 11 minutes and 6 seconds of this live stream to watch. So they completely redacted it up. Redacted it up. Yes, they did. Well, yeah, Solar Siren. Good luck. Good luck. Love you. You're stopped at 4 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I was like on such a roll. Like we were really getting deep and then they pulled the plug. Oh no. Oh, well, darn. Let's just pull a card on what's interfering. Let's just see. I mean, I can feel like I'm seeing in my mind's eye when Joyce on Stranger Things was like talking about, the monster in the wall and everything, and those people with their headphones on, they're listening to all the phone calls. That's what I saw in my mind's eye. Let's just see what is interfering with our apparently it was a bad choice for me to speak a little too much truth. Look, we have like smoke coming out of the nostril, and to me, like that's the breath of life, being able to speak life or to try to suppress or strangle the breath. Just don't I was maybe being a little too candid on topics they don't want discussed, but I didn't call anyone out specifically. I just said they recording. Yeah, they literally pulled my recording. Announcement, expression, and revealing. But look, it's all literally burned. It's burned. It's like in a house fire. Look at that. Anything else? Why? Let's see. Why or what was I not supposed to say? Just talking about what's coming, literally. Like, yeah, they can sit there and try to gaslight us and keep us from whatever, but no, these promises are literally written in the stars, and even their false grid can't hijack what's being like risen, the sleeping phoenix rising. They can't prevent that. They had kind of suppressed it for all these years with their false matrix, but they can't. That promise will be kept, that this information will get out. So I guess we'll just leave it at that for now, and we will. Darn, Brianna's question. Well, I can still access the question on the old chat. So we will take Versha's question. We will have to really put it in code, what we're talking about. I think it's funny that a lot of these, other tarot readers and people that can literally put these people's names in lights and, even say the words, when you're driving in traffic, they can say these words and the algorithm just picks them up and blows them up like, oh yeah, no, you're good. But that tells me they're not getting to the truth of what's actually going on, or they would not be promoting it. And in fact, they would be suppressing it, silencing it like they did to my stream. I knew this. Coming in today, I knew I could already feel some effery going on. Okay, let's just do like a quick protective bubble circle around. It's almost like us. Oh, I have chills. It's almost like us just creating this energetic vortex around this network transmission. We're transmitting information right now. We'll put a veil of secrecy over it. Only those with the spirit, the eyes to see, the ears to hear, will see this transmission of this cosmic question corner that for some reason seems very potent and powerful. They don't want this information getting out. So we will still find a way, cloaking it with our true spirit, because nothing can trump our true spirit. They can throw wrenches in gears and try to suppress us in all these ways and cut our feed and everything, but they will not keep this information from getting out, because their time is up. It's yeah. I don't even know at what point they cut it off. We were talking about the specific files that were recently released. But I want to say we were talking about that after, and how, okay, so now it's okay for them to know what we were, or for us to know, according to them, it's okay for us to know these certain things. But they're still gaslighting us. Like, oh no, now go ahead and look at all of this. Well, just because you're telling me I can look at it doesn't mean I'm going to look at it, because I know you're hiding the truth anyway. So I'm still going to find it, but I'm going to find it my way. So let's write down our questions for today. We still have a dilemma of what do we do with the questions in here, because we still have little Miss Spider in here, in a question having to do with World War III, which I think is pretty relevant for these times, because we're in a spiritual war. If not a physical war, it's definitely a spiritual war that we're in. So that would be a great question for today too. I don't want to not utilize these questions just because there's a spider hanging out in here today. And if you want to see the spider, go to Wednesday's live stream. You get to see her up close and personal. She's still in the jar. So we're going to write out our new questions. I think I'm going to go get a different jar and try to kind of shake her loose a little bit so that we can still carry on business as usual, I did have like 4 pairs of scissors in here, or Wrigley did anyway, but I'm not seeing any of them. This is his version of cleaning his room. You guys ready? That's clean to him. That's clean. No, he needs a vacuum at the very least. If not, put all this stuff away. But anywho, I digress. Let's do it the old-fashioned way of cutting. Scissors were always hard to find in my house growing up. My mom was a left-handed person, and still is, obviously. So we only always had left-handed scissors in the house. And she'd hide them from us because she did not want them being lost. So I got real good. Oh, I thought that was my scissors. No, I got really good at cutting. Just using like a fold lick pull the crease and then rip technique. I got real good at it growing up. So let's get Brianna's. I'm gonna write Brianna's question out first because it's on the chat over here. Oh no. Right as I clicked on it, I saw all the chat and then it just disappeared. Look at that. Well, I should still be able to access my chat. Yeah, look. It was just there and then poof. Brianna, if you're still out there, I can't now recall the wording. I know it was about the sun and moon using the energy. Can you re-enlighten us? Because it literally just erased it right before my eyes. It was there when I clicked back in and then it was poof, gone. So maybe they deleted the whole stream. I don't know. Gosh, why? Why do they do this to us? Oh, she's here. Can you maybe rewrite your question, your cosmic question, and then I'll literally copy it down. This is insane. Oh my gosh. I wonder, I'm gonna check just to see if they completely scrubbed my other live. No, but they did cut the 7+ minutes of it off. The last 7+ minutes of it are just gone. It ends with me talking about human design stuff. And then I got into some other stuff that obviously they weren't here for it. So oh my god. And they completely took off, even though I always have it say to leave the original chat. I can't access it now. There's comments, which there are none, but then oh my gosh, it popped up. Holy cow, yes. Oh, but maybe not. It's only giving me part of the chat. So they cut your question off anyway. Yeah, the first but last that I have from you, Brianna, is hi. Because anything after you said hi, like the live stream's over. They cut it. They pulled it. Yeah. Okay. So what does the sun and moon want from us in order? Thank you very much. So, and I need a better pencil or writing device. These were in his drawer. So I knew that deck looked a little light over here. Half of it was in his drawer. What the heck? All right. I would prefer a pen, but it's a red pen. Official. Red pens are so official. Let's see. Of course it doesn't work. Why is everything doing this today? It's not even Mercury retrograde that I know of. I mean, he has all these pencils and none of them are sharpened. Oh, here's one. Yeah, look at this. Like they're all like that. Like you can't use them. Okay, we found one that's good, not great. Better than nothing. Okay. So, yeah, it's crazy. I was on a buttered roll talking about one of the questions that Versha's submitting today. So we'll see how that goes if that one gets pulled. Maybe if it doesn't, but by the time we do pull on it, it won't be so suppressed. Who knows? Who knows? But again, I'm putting a huge ball of protection around what we need to say today, that it cannot be hampered, tampered, suppressed, hijacked, deleted. They already deleted the last 7 minutes of my other stream. So we're moving on though. Aw, Groovy Works. I'm not sure if you had a different name before, because it's giving, like they redid the way that they have people's names and usernames and stuff. So if you had a different username before, but either way, hi. You needed my magic. Well, apparently, the Matrix didn't want it today. Oh, Julie, hi. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I hope you're doing well. What? How crazy. It's been forever. Yeah, the last live stream that I just was live on got pulled, and then 7 to 8 minutes of it, just they removed it because I was talking a little too much about things I probably shouldn't have been. Although not I shouldn't have been like because of my judgment, but because of the Matrix's judgment, you know. Okay. So what does the sun and moon, let's see. Oh, I have something to say about that, Marlene, after we write this question down. I'll say it and then hopefully that doesn't get pulled. But it's very true to what's going on right now. Let's see. Moon. Okay, to recalibrate humanity. And this is from Brianna. We will submit this and Verish's question, which I'll write out here soon. We have to, if you're just joining us, we have to find a new jar because there's a spider in one of the questions, and I don't want to just move her around and get her all sad. So we're gonna do kind of a rescue mission for the slips of paper and just kind of leave her to her own devices. But anyway. Aw. My mom ran into her cousin when she was out of town yesterday, and he has cancer. Aw. My mom has like a million cousins, but he's a fun cousin. I love him. I'll have to get into that family stuff later. But anyway, what Marlene was saying, I saw a podcast episode yesterday that just clicked for me about the Matrix and how confused humans really are. It was so interesting. And this is going into that gate of Maya, gate of planning that we've been in since 1615 or 1614, somewhere in there, roundabouts. The year 1614, 1615. We've been in that energy, and it's been about giving your authority, giving your decision making to systems, governments, kings, you know, some authority outside of you. And we do it in the school system, we do it in you know, all the time, everywhere in this world. But and also with the rise of AI, this tells me that this AI thing, you know, this basically taking over and taking over our thought process and everything. I know just by the cross of the sleeping phoenix and the cross of penetration that we're moving into, that can't take root. This whole AI takeover cannot take root in that energy. Maybe if timelines split and there's like a version of Earth that continues down that technocratic way, maybe, but like I don't even know that that's possible. But what I know with this energy is, you know, AI basically taking over our thought process, and it's not even true information most of the time. In fact, 60+% of the time, there's false information within what they are telling you. So discernment is like at a premium right now. Not just like mental discernment, but like what does your gut instinct tell you about this person, this information, this agenda? You know, what you're going to have for dinner tonight, like all of it is going back to center. We're going to have to come back to ourselves, to our spirit, to get the proper information for us to be able to make decisions, to move forward, to live our lives. And the people who are especially super heavily dependent on AI right now, that's going to be a very scary world for them, because their sovereignty, their agency, their autonomy is going out the window. But we're coming into this energy that is basically forcing us to claim that sovereignty back, for good or for bad. Like it's time that we reclaim our sovereignty and make decisions for ourselves from our own inner authority, not some external authority saying, well, you know, it's good for Tom, Dick, and Harry over here. Who cares about little old Amanda? Like, she's going to have to just go along to get along because this is the decision we've made. I'm a United States Senator from the movie Shooter, the Montana Senator, that guy. Oh my God, I hated that guy. I live in Montana. Anyway, we're being forced, energetically speaking. But like I said earlier, before things were, it may still be on that past live stream that we just did, or it may have gotten cut. I don't know. But I was talking about how the people who are just wanting to remain the same or go back to how things were in the 40s, 50s, 60s, or the past, we can't go back. The Pandora's box is wide open, blown wide open. There's no box to go back into at this point. And the people specifically that are so focused on, let's return to these morals of the past, or this way of the past, this way of the past, they're going to have the hardest time through this energy shift. Those of us who are ready for our sovereignty to come back online, our spirit to have our spiritual connection deepen, this is only going to greatly benefit us. But the people who are so reliant on these external authorities to tell them when to wipe their butt, or tell them what they should eat, the food pyramid scheme of the, whatever. Oh, I just saw something flash on my screen. I really hope they're not messing with this already. I'm shooting off right, left, and center today. It's probably my own fault it's getting taken down. I'm cheeky today. I'm a little saucy, a little cheeky today, but I'm angry. And I don't want to continue to be suppressed. And it was 2112 right when I looked up. So this inversion that's been going on is going to be completely flipped on its head. So the way that we've been doing things, these big systems making these decisions, it's going to be flipped on its head. And we're now going to have to be the authority of our own lives. And the authority that on paper and in, reality looks good for me may not look good for you, may not look good for Tom down the street, may not look good for, Betty over here either. Like, it's really shifting and it's really changing. That, again, those that are looking to dive deeper into who you are and what's best for you, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it will be much more simple for you to know that, yes, I do want to make my own decisions. I do want to make my own way forward. I don't want to have to rely on all these systems and authorities outside of me. So anyway, yes, very on point there, Marlene. Yes, so crazy what happened with my live. Yes. Oh my gosh, it is crazy. I've been meaning to email. Yeah, I welcome that. I love getting emails from you guys. I'm not always the best about checking that specific email, but when I do, I will email you back. I could not even hear a little bit. You have to text me or email me the details you got into. Now I am so very inquisitive. It's a lot about what we were actually already talking about before the live stream, Versha. So I don't think you missed much. Maybe just a little nuance here and there on what we were kind of already talking about. But I did say names and stuff, so maybe that's why. I should have known to skate around things and to, do our little code word, secret password, just to get the message out. It's sad we have to do that, but that's what we have to do for now. Yeah, discernment about what our actual thoughts are. Exactly. Oh no, Brianna doesn't think her messages are coming through. I see one that was redacted, one that said she was in Morocco, and then your question, it said I'm here. I was kind of going backwards. I was just reading back up the chat. So if you said other stuff, Brianna, then I did not see it. So you'll have to let us know. But I did see you say, I don't think my messages are coming through. Yeah, last message was retracted. Yeah. Okay, I did intend for pure source energy to bring down refining fire. I love it. Yes, we're protected. We're going to be able to hold this sacred container to make this Cosmic Question Corner happen today. I'm going to write down the first question that you had, Versha, in text earlier today, so that we can at least have that to submit. And then I'm going to find a new jar or container. Ooh, we have a Land O'Lakes butter container in here. Gosh, my kids. Wrigley likes to use these to put, like, if he's like in the middle of a Lego project, he'll put them in here. So with the lid, so he doesn't lose the pieces, because they come in bags like labeled 1, 2, 3. And sometimes he just gets ahead of himself and I'm like, okay, you're going to have to put it in something. So we like save these containers, not every one, but some of them, to be able to put his little pieces in. So we'll maybe use this as our container today. Maybe there's some symbolism too. They used to have a lady on the land, like an Indian, as a Native American, on the Land O'Lakes, but again, they're trying to make everything politically correct and everything. So she's not on there anymore. She was really beautiful. Yeah, just imagine how threatened they felt. We twisted their guts if they have it, right? I mean, you've got to know. They're not just willy-nilly going around suppressing live streams. And if it really truly was a network connection issue, if it really truly was, the rest of the live stream would, maybe it was spotty and patchy here and there, but it would still be there. They wouldn't need to delete almost 8 minutes of my live stream. So that should tell you all you need to know. We can read between the lines about what they're doing. Because if it was just someone shooting the breeze, I see tarot readers all the time reading on current events, and they can get hundreds of thousands of views on those videos, no problem. No problem. It just jammed up at your end. Oh no, are you serious? Oh, your connection is weird. Oh no. Well, let's write this question down. So if you need to go get a snack or a beverage or something, feel free. I'm going to take a moment here to write Versa's question. The truth about EP, and then, Steen. We're calling it EP because pep in your EP. Pep in the EP. That's what we're going to call it, because we got to do code words or we're going to get the plug pulled again, I'm sure. So what's the truth? So truth behind who is or was EP. And what he was actually doing. This is putting all these files aside. What was he actually doing? Because they're letting us know, or trying to tell us, funnel us down a narrative that, oh, this is what was going on. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of that is the truth, but like, what else? What are you not telling us? What's been redacted? What wasn't even on the page to begin with that was so classified it couldn't be documented in any way, shape, or form? Because that's how these people operate. Was actually doing yeah, the files being released, look controlled, opposition. So the real details are not being disclosed. Yeah. So what's the truth behind people involved? I hope I can read my writing after this. That's why I prefer pen, because this is like really dull pencil, and it's like a grainy desk. If you can hear that. Grainy desk that's making the wording look really bad, but we're going to get it out there. Yes, we are. Not names, but maybe positions, possibly. And this is submitted by Versa. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fold that one up. Okay, we're going to do the best we can to avoid harming the spider in any way. So we will, here's Versa's, here's Brianna's. Where'd she go? Okay, she's in that one. So let's take all of these out. I don't want to interrupt her life. Okay, we're going to have to shake her loose, though. going to have to come out of this paper. We need it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There she is. Where is she? Right there. Can you see her? No. Let's see. Now you see her right there. Okay, so she's cool. She's cool to do what she needs to do. Since she's contained, I may take her and put her outside because she probably has a better chance of finding prey if she needs to eat outside. So we have, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. I worked it up to be this big deal. Okay, so today's question, I know it was something about World War III. I could read WW3 on the paper. It's not the one that we got, though. This one's from Kashvi. Will we all go back to the true organic source and not reincarnate again? I love that. I mean, that is the question that I think all of us want to know. Like that's probably one of the biggest questions that we all want to know the answer to, right? I kind of, for some reason, want to start with the Secrets of the Hidden Realms cards. Will we all go back? Okay, I'm already hearing eventually. Eventually, yes. Eventually, yes. We cannot get lost in these matrices forever. But look what fell. It fell in reverse. You can't make this stuff up. We have the Phoenix card. Resurrection, surrender to change. The number 29, which adds up to 11, which the number 11 is about the twin flame or divine yin. And in this instance, asking in this context, our divine union back to source. I mean, you can't get more clear than this. But the fact that it came up in reverse is that maybe not everybody will do it in this specific incarnation, but yes. And what I'm also hearing is if you are somehow put back into this matrix again after this specific incarnation, it will only be under your true spirit's authority. There's not any external authority moving forward as this false matrix collapses. And wow, 2016, I just heard 2016. And I also heard that something was dismantled within the matrix system. I'm wondering what date in 2016, because my best friend, John, passed away in 2016 on Christmas Day, which was toward the end. So I'm going to assume if you're going to say the year 2016, it's probably before the end of it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Something was dismantled that just forced like this reincarnation loop, trap, cycle, wheel. 2016, something was dismantled. I like that. I like that a lot. So if for some reason you're coming back in, it's under your own true free will of your divine spark, your true essence, your true spirit that would be making the call that, okay, let me go back in. I have more I want to do or more I want to experience or, something that personally to your spirit that wants to be kicked off. Let's get a card as to what the surrender to change part of this card is trying to say. And then I think we will take Brianna's advice. This is like a short and sweet, right to the point kind of question. Maybe I will dig through and find that World War III card question. Because the spider was hiding in that. And that to me feels very much like a sign like, hey, follow the white rabbit, follow the gray spider. Like, that's what we're doing today. Ooh, I have chills. Oh, send an email. I would love that, Julie. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Ooh, we have one fall to the ground. 9 of Pentacles. Surrender to change. Being able to reap the harvest or the benefit of all the work we've done. That's what we need to surrender to the change of, instead of doing all this hard work and effort for the systems that are in place, the matrix itself. I have chills. This is about bringing all of your power back to center. And this is not about you being selfish or never helping anyone out or being an a-hole to people. Like, that's not what this is saying. This is saying, in order to surrender to change and to not, you're already not going to get looped back in here accidentally in any way. And it was 34 right as I looked at my timer. So 7-7 energy. But in fact, all that hard work and effort that you've been putting toward just surviving in this matrix is going to start being funneled back into your own energy field for you to utilize as the fruits of your own labor as instant manifestation of something that can benefit you. Because we don't all want to live in a mansion next to the beach with 5 Lamborghinis in the driveway. Like that might be someone's dream. Definitely not my dream. Being near a beach would be cool, but I'm more of a mountains, lakes, rivers, and streams kind of girly. Don't get me wrong. I've been to the ocean a few times, and there's a potency and a power that I can access in myself, my own energy field when I'm there. But I don't feel the call to live right on an ocean, right near any water source anyway. Anyway, because of the mosquitoes. Oh my gosh, have you guys not experienced the mosquitoes in the mountains near lakes, rivers, ponds, streams, all of it? It's bad. So maybe I'll live just within like a decently long walking distance or a driving distance from a lake, river, stream, pond, whatever. But look, this is about being able to shape what your spirit has for you as far as dreams go. I love that. All right, well, that was quite to the point. So I'm going to look through here and try to find little Miss Spider's question she was hiding inside of, if I can. No? Not it. Not it. Where is it? It's going to be the last one I touch always. Is this it? It has to be. It's the last one I didn't look at, I think. Oh, yeah. Okay. This was submitted by Versha. So we are doing one of your questions today and one of Kashvi's. I love that. Drama on the world platform. WW3, World War III agenda, will be pushed this year, 2026. Cause financial, religion, education collapse. How can we navigate? This feels big as far as the matrix goes. This is big as far as our own sovereignty and getting the heck out of this matrix reincarnation trap. Bigger than big, this question. But this is the thick of what we're dealing with in our human experience right now. Right? Meow. So I think this is potent in its own way. And we're gonna dive. We're gonna dive. This is another level. Yeah. This is probably even more relevant to us even than your pep in the ep question, if that makes sense. But I have chills already. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be big. So I might have to, I'll just say WW3 instead of the WAR word, because sometimes algorithms and people listening in whatever way they are, whether it's just AI listening in or actual people, I don't freaking know. But there's a lot of drama on the world platform. WW3 agenda will be pushed this year, 2026. It's yes, absolutely. And possibly cause the financial, religion, education. Yeah. And again, the card we got, the Phoenix, that's not the only reason why, but it's a big portion of, these energies shifting. Look what's on the back of the deck as I cut it. And I'm even wearing my Trash the Dragon shirt. 21 Pilots lore. If you know, you know. I'm just now realizing when Boston spilled his smoothie on here that it actually did stain. Because yes, he's the last one to wear this shirt. I did not realize it stained. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys with a stained shirt. Like, I'm that cool. Oh, well. But leaving a mark. I just heard something about leaving a mark. The Dragon's Duel. Inner conflict, morality. Sorry. Yeah, morality. I almost said mortality, but it is morality. Conscious choice. The number 23, chaos. The Dragon's Duel. We'll keep that one out, but I'm also going to shuffle for this. See what we get. Ooh. No, keep going. Okay. Woo, slippery energy. So, oh, it landed in my lap. I could have sworn it fell to the floor. Chess Queen. Trust and strategizing. With the number 3, which is about creative solutions. or coming together, collaboration of some kind. Dueling dragons, dragons duel. And kind of going in alignment with that other question you were kind of thinking about that you didn't write out, but you were talking about, ooh, maybe someday we can get a question about dragons. There are some that are, I'm hearing synthetic. I heard synthetica, but synthetic dragon energy, again, like the false matrix was put over the original blueprint, of the Earth matrix, which is matrix means womb, matrix means mother. I mean, false matrix isn't a bad thing in and of itself, because you have to have a substrate or something to adhere to if you're in a physical vessel. So there has to be some sort of matrix through which you can grow and become material, right? But this, before I even had this one fall out, I'm like, I'm already seeing there's not just one way forward with this. And that's where this trust and strategizing comes in. And that's one of the things that you're supposed to do in this whole human design thing, is you need to start trusting your inner authority and utilizing your strategy to make the decisions. So strategy and authority are probably your most potent way forward through this WW3 agenda. So if you don't know anything about your human design, I would say there would be two things about your human design that would be invaluable for you to learn about who you are and what you're here to do, as far as to really embody your energy in the best way, again, in alignment with the matrix, would be to find out your strategy and authority in human design. And let me see. I do have, if you go to geneticmatrix.com, let's see. I gotta go to my albums and find my human design one. Okay. Let's see. I think it says it. Okay. Well, I know on my chart anyway. I see strategy. I don't see authority on here. But I know my authority is sacral authority. So strategy for me is to respond. So it's really difficult for me, who's a pure generator, to just get something going. I have the energy to sustain something going, but I usually need to respond. Someone asks me, hey, do you want to do this? Or, hey, it's usually a question and I answer yes or no. Do you want to have this for dinner? Yes or no. Do you want to start this project? Yes or no. And then once I respond, I can then take my pure generator energy and go in that direction. Someone who's, say, a projector, they need to be invited to do something. So if you're giving unsolicited advice as a projector, it's going to usually 9 times and maybe 10 times out of 10 fall completely flat. My husband's a projector, so he understands that so well. Manifestors or manifesting generators can just have an idea or an inspiration and just move into it without having to wait for anything. They can just start, get it going. Reflectors make up less than 1% of the population, so I don't know exactly what their strategy is, but strategy and then authority. Where do you feel in your body the yes or the no? Where's your authority coming from? I'll even just Google authority in human design. Let's see. Authority in human design. It's crazy how these cards are aligning with what we were kind of talking about before on the first live stream, even, especially the first live stream. So authority is your internal decision-making mechanism guiding you toward choices aligned with your unique nature, not for the greater good, not for the guy down the road, not to please your parents. Your unique inner mechanism, your unique nature guiding you. Rather than relying on logic or external advice, the days of seeking advice before making moves are over for most of us. Not all of us, but most of us. We can still get that validation along the way if that's something we need as kind of training wheels to go. But as we move into this energy, other people's opinions or advice, especially if they're not walking your shoes, is going to be completely irrelevant to you. I'm going to be put out of a job. Let's just be honest. Like, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I'm just going to be like, I guess, probably focus more on my writing, or maybe focused on, if I'm still mentoring and helping people in that way, it's people who are very resistant to these energies and me just helping them in their own authority along the way, you know? Um, it represents the body's wisdom, showing how to trust your physical intuition or emotional waves to navigate life correctly, bypassing the mind's conditioning. And that is where the matrix lies, is in our programming, in our mind. So the more we can get out of here and get into the sacral, or, you know, if you're an emotional authority or whatever, wherever your authority lies in your human design, get very intimate with what that feels like. Practice making decisions, even just small little inconsequential decisions to start, to really get your sea legs with it, you know? Really practice with those training wheels, and then you can really start, especially as we 2027 and beyond. You can already start now. And in fact, if you're starting now, you're already kind of, I won't say late to the game, but a lot of us here have already been in this, you know, using our intuition to make these decisions since, you know, 2012, 2016, 2020, 2022 is another big jumping off point for people to really start taking their power back from all these external sources. Chills. So here's the different types. Oh, reflectors are lunar. They need to wait a full 28-day lunar cycle for clarity. I am so sorry, reflectors out there. That sounds like torture. I'm already not patient enough in just my sacral authority, which is instantaneous. I'm like, emotional. This is a solar plexus authority. This requires waiting for emotional not mental clarity, but emotional clarity. There's no truth in the now moment for our emotional or solar plexus authority people. I'll get to that, Versha. Yes, I will. Sacral or gut, that's what I am as a pure generator. I don't know that all pure generators are sacral, though. I think there may also be able to be emotional, or maybe that's emotional manifesting generators. I can't remember. But sacral, which is like in the gut, responds in the moment to life with a gut feeling, yes or no. Yes, no. The splenic intuition provides split-second, quiet, intuitive knowing. The ego, projected, manifested, heart center. Decisions are based on what the heart desires and willpower. So self-projected, these are projectors here. The G center requires talking things out to hear your own truth. And that doesn't even have to involve another person, but you just talking. This is my husband through and through and through and through. He does not even need me to give him advice. He doesn't need any of that crap. He just needs to hear his words out loud, bounced off of either someone, or just to be able to play those words back to himself. In real time, it's easy to do. Like if you talk out loud to yourself, you can do that, or you can even voice record yourself and then listen to it back, and you can start to pick up the nuance of what's best for you. Requires talking things out to hear your own truth. And then the environmental, they're the mental projectors. They need to be in the right environment to talk things out. So some of these are instantaneous. I don't need all this external stuff to make it happen. And then others need full 28-day cycle to really feel into it. Yeah, I talk to you or another friend and I get chills. That's your I have chills just thinking about it. That's your projector. That's your authority working in real time, Bersha. So when you get those chills, you trust that as, okay, my truth is coming to the surface, and know that in that moment, you know the right decision for yourself. But if you catch yourself like trying to analyze it logically or get in your head about it, get back in that flow of your body with the talking. My heart center is a big part of feeling and doing. Yeah. Nice. So your strategy and your authority are going to be huge in navigating these tumultuous waters of the WW3 agenda. Let's get deeper into this though. So financial collapse, religion collapse, education collapse. How are we navigating this? Well, we already have a big chunk of the picture figured out by trusting our own intuitive authority and strategy per our human design. And if you want to add another layer to your human design, it may confuse things at first. So I say if you're new to human design, start with your just tropical chart, human design strategy and authority, and your type. If you're a generator, a projector, all of that will be the three things to really just focus on that. You don't have to see all the gates and channels and your incarnation cross, your all that. Like you can figure that stuff out later. Um this stuff will be kind of baseline or the foundational stuff for you to learn. Anything else that needs to come through? I'm hearing just stick classic. Let's stick to the classic on how to navigate these waters of, specifically, I think for a lot of us, financial. Of the three that you named here, financial, religion, and education, financial seems the most scare tactic. One of those. So let's see, with the collapse of the upcoming, whatever they have planned financially in 2026, 2027, beyond, but especially kind of this year and right now and moving into this new energy of 2027. How do we navigate these financial collapses? Those of us watching now and on the replay, how do we navigate? I'm hearing do not panic. There's no need to, throw everything you know out the window. There's this almost a stillness to it. And this is very Taurus energy, which is very slow moving, very methodical, very, I'm going to wait till the panic dies down, or I'm going to wait till the dust settles. But this is not waiting for that thing to happen. It's like you've already been preparing along the way. And this is not just with like cash money on hand. This is like honing skills. Like, do you know how to forage for flora and fauna in your area? That's like a baseline skill that most of us don't even have anymore. Finding non-financial ways to, because the Empress doesn't create from having pockets full of cash and then goes to spend that cash to create things. She's more of a gatherer. Like the feminine, the men are the masculine. If the Emperor came out, this would be a whole different vibe. But the Empress, she's more about using the resources she already has or going out to gather things. She's about community, building community and connections, heartfelt connections to people, nurturing the people in her community. Again, this by community, I don't mean help everybody, because a lot of people just don't get it. Doesn't mean you can't help those people. Obviously you can, but as far as bringing them into your inner circle and just giving from your heart full-heartedly, absolutely not. Because I mean, think of any apocalyptic TV show or movie. There are vultures out there that will literally put a bullet in your head rather than let you keep your resources. So it's about, again, discernment in who to bring into this inner circle, into the inner fold, of, and it's about shared responsibility as well, but also knowing how you can provide, again, not just financially, but like using your skills that you already have, learning new skills, gathering information, gathering resources, gathering people together, is going to be really big through this time. Let's go to our what lies beneath card. Okay, because I've been feeling that they're going to amp these things up because we have Olympics coming up. I think, is it starting today? We have the Olympics. We have this very big divine feminine death and rebirth portal coming up on the 13th. We have a solar eclipse on February 17th. We have we have other stuff going on. 209 day, right, Jessa? Let me see. I'm going to try to see any other upcoming things that I'm like space blanking on. I'm not sure if we're past in bulk yet. Let me look up and I don't even know if I'm saying that word correctly. It was February 1st. Okay, so we already had that gateway, which is the halfway point between winter solstice and the spring equinox. Point, February 1st. And weird, guys, look at this. I live in Montana, a very north, almost to Canada. I mean, my mom's closer. She's 38, I think it's 32 or 38 miles as the crow flies from the Canadian border where she lives. Driving, it's closer to an hour and 20 minutes, but lots of mountains in the way. You got to go around, right? So I'm almost in Canada, and we barely had any winter here. And every single year I've lived in this house, which has been since June of 2008, so almost 18 full years in this house. As of June of this year, it will be 18 years. And never have I ever seen any kind of buds on my trees. I have a choke cherry tree, a mountain ash tree, and a cascade willow tree in my backyard. Never have I seen buds on my trees before mid-March. Early March, I'd say the earliest I've seen them is maybe the March 12th in years past. Yesterday was 5 days past January in the mountains in Montana, not that far from the Canadian border. And I see, look at those buds on my choke cherry tree. Look at these. It's hard to see because whatever, but this is my willow tree. Look at all the little buds. You can see all the little buds, little nubs on all of these back in the back here too, but also up close. Look at those little buds. So pole shift, question mark? Like whatever they're doing to the weather, question mark? I don't know. Something is definitely weird. We're going to have here where I'm at in early spring. And I heard the black-capped chickadee, cheeseburger. They sound like that. It sounds like cheeseburger when they say it, when they do it. I heard that bird the other day, and I don't usually hear that till, again, about mid-March here in the mountains in Montana. But let's just see. That just seemed like relevant somehow. Because I'm seeing that this isn't all bad. But of course, the death throes of the Matrix are going to feel loud and chaotic and really effing scary. Really scary. So let's just see what we need to know. Did I fall? I keep thinking one fell to the ground, but it didn't. Okay, so one fell out. Gosh. But look, we have two arrows on the line. But yes, they're still running parallel. They haven't branched off from each other yet. So even if you're seeing news of all this craziness going on in the world, which we are, oh yeah, and we also have the eclipse. I think I said the eclipse coming up. So like there's some big event that they're going to false flag, if you know, you know, here in the coming days, weeks, months, hours. I just heard hours. There may be something popping off in the next few hours that's going to be a big event. I have chills now. Okay, I didn't know that. Anyway, these timelines are almost running parallel. Well, that did not look very well. Right up. So there's caution. We're not being cautious of just, this feels very much like they want us to be on guard or like jumping at every little sound. But I'm seeing this as caution, as we can literally remove ourselves from whatever it is they're trying to push. Maybe it's still in our awareness, but it's not in our intimate, immediate reality. Here the temperatures are going up to 65 in the coming days. Oh, the dove's giving eggs in winter. A lot of shouting. So what is this false event event doesn't mean, just because it's considered false doesn't mean real people aren't being injured or hurt or worse. Let's just put that out there. But these events are orchestrated. We'll just call them orchestrated events. What is it they have planned? What we were saying about financial collapse, there may be news of a bank failure or some bank bailout or something with a big bank coming up days, hours, days, weeks, months from now. no more than 2 months from now, but potentially within the hour, the next few hours, to days, to weeks, to months. And then private relationship. And I'm hearing something about the government in bed with big banks. Something about this relationship is coming to light. What about this is coming to light? Outdated, expired, disused, old news, discarded. There's something about the way this is. They're trying to do away with this so they can get their digital doll hair going, if you know what I'm saying. The digital ID, digital currency. And I'm not talking about Bitcoin and that. I'm talking, or crypto. I'm talking about them completely lock and loading, lockdown, full control of the financial system. Because they're going to use this as the excuse, or one of the excuses. I just heard Bernie Madoff. I remember something about him in 2008, something about him stealing, was it people's pensions or something? I don't remember the details. But let's see if something about Bernie Madoff is coming to light again, or maybe they're just going to say this is a very similar situation. Arrow, you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. You'll be receiving or given a precious gift, and then hills, obstacles to overcome. And we're asking specifically about this stuff, though. So I think we're on the right path of, it's like the same cycle, maybe different players, because this cycle has come up again. And this is almost 18 years. So this is the last time the nodes were in the places they're at now. Within about 18 to 18 and a half years, they're in the same place again. And we're at that cycle. The nodes were in the same place they were during the 2008 collapse. They're moving through that same energy, those same nakshatras, that same astrological sign right now. But there's something being illuminated this time around. For us, your average person out there, this is going to look really scary, really scary. But for those with eyes to see and ears to hear and notice, this is just another cycle, another, another move around the Monopoly board. That alone, just that knowing alone, that we don't have to play their game, is a huge gift to us. And those like us that are like, I'm not playing the game. I'm not allowing them to loose harvest my fear about all of this. I'm not, putting my faith in these systems. I'm out. Even if you're still playing the game day to day because you feel like, quote unquote, you have to pay my taxes, have to go to work, have to pay my bills, put food on the table. Yes, in a way that's them you playing their game, but you're not playing their game as far as you know it's a rigged game. You know what the systems are really doing. You do not consent to your energy, your life force being harvested anymore. That's what this means. Let's see if we can get some information on anything else with any other collapses or WW3 agendas they're going to be throwing this year. And then we're going to wrap this up and get into our donations, which we have a few. Okay. Calm and okay. What do we need to know? Calm, and we're gonna be okay. But funny, she's given the okay symbol, which is also like the 666 symbol, which they like to use as one of their hand signals. But this is about stability, harmony, and acceptance. And this one is about inner peace, simplicity, and meditation. And this is very much a place of stillness here as well, or being able to take the time out, separating yourself from the fray of all the chaos, to be enlightened to a new way forward. I feel like we need one more, just one more. Let's go to the, let me drop those. Animal Apothecary. I'm glad we didn't get our feed but I protected the crap out of it this time. Okay. Closing statements on this WW3 agenda and everything being pushed this year of 2026 to basically exert more control, how we can navigate it, how those of us watching now and on the replay can navigate these energies. Not that we're surrendering to these energies. We're surrendering to our spirit. We're saying, I surrender. I'm not in the WAR WW3 anymore. I'm sovereign. When you surrender, that means you're no longer fighting. You're no longer playing the game. That doesn't mean they win. That just means you're pulling your energy back to go your own way. Fleetwood Mac, go your own way. You know, that's what we're doing. On the back of the deck, nourish the shadow. And I hate when we get this card because it's like, oh, feed your shadow. Instead of nourishing and feeding the shadow, I'm going to shine my light on it, see what in there, and then alchemize and transmute it. I don't keep carrying this wound around. Yeah. Wow, I love that. Okay, so that was our 2 cosmic questions today. One was longer than the other, but I'm glad we had little Miss Sally the Spider point us in a direction of this, because I think we all needed to know. We surrender to our spirit. We're going to be okay. We're going to see these agendas before they even play. You know, the playbook's already written, and they're just going in these cycles over and over again. So it's pretty easy to suss out what their next move is. It pretty much seems. Not to say it can't cause stress, because I'm sure it will. Especially with them, you know, us all working so hard in our lives, and then them doing everything they can to deflate the dollar, to put us all in survival mode. Everything costs more. We get the same amount of money that we, you know, did even a few years ago, but that money does not go as far anymore, because they're purposely doing this to put us in survival mode. But that's one thing they forgot or underestimated about humanity, is when we have nothing left to lose. If we're living in survival mode, and we feel at some point we have nothing left to lose, that's when we have nothing left to lose. So, like, why not take my power back? So they have boiled the frog a little too quickly here, to where many of us have, and many more in these next few months, are going to jump out of their matrix control system, which is huge. This is everything. This is everything we've been wanting and waiting for. But we are the ones we've been waiting for. And then look on the back, expecting new beginning. It's beautiful. And this is a new beginning that we, with our sovereignty, are deciding upon. This is not just some new matrix-controlled construct they're laying out and giving us the illusion of choice between the lesser of two evils on this or that. Those days of operating are long over for those of us that are already kind of on this frequency of, yeah, not for me anymore. We don't have to choose that anymore. And in fact, many of us haven't been choosing that since, 2012, 2016, 2020, 2022, 2024, 2025, 2026. Like, these jumping off points that once seemed so far apart are getting closer and closer together, because they've turned the heat up too quickly, and we're jumping out of the pot. They can't boil us frogs anymore. No, siree, Bob. Nothing left to lose. We just do whatever and move on, right? And the more you can do whatever and move on from that alignment of your true spirit, the better off you're going to be, to be honest. Yes. Even if it goes completely against the grain of what everyone else is doing or what everyone else has done, even better, because we're moving into a completely new, flipped on its head, upside down energy of what we've been operating in as per the Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix. And if you want more information about the Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix, just go on YouTube and Google 2027 Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix and watch whatever webinar comes up. Just use your intuition to find somebody. A lot of them are like over an hour long. And even if you don't understand human design, you don't have to. They are basically spelling out what this new energy means. And they'll even touch on, the cross of Maya, cross of planning that we've been in since 1614, 1615, the last 400 plus years. Yeah. Yeah, for it being America, I could see most going ape and taking those in control. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I just heard January 6th. So there was something that they did January 6th, which again, that was way too calculated and staged. That in and of itself was a false flag event. If you know, you know. it wasn't even people, and same with when, the whole pizza and then gate thing was happening back in 2016, and then that guy who took a pew pew to the pizza restaurant and shot something. Um, that doesn't mean that the pizza and then the gate weren't onto something. It just means that they wanted to make anyone talking about that look like a Looney Tune. We all could see that coming a mile away. A lot of these school pew pews and all this, again, loose harvest of fear, loose harvest of fear. Um, Big events where, people at movie theaters, concerts are getting unalived and stuff. Same thing. They're basically getting people to be in fear everywhere and anywhere they go. Well, it doesn't work on me because I know I'm protected. So I do all my due diligence to keep my energy cleared, and I keep it moving, But they want everyone to always be in fear everywhere they go because that's just free energy for them to suck up. Yeah, it's just these things are back to back. And what it reminds me of is when I was in labor with my second kid, they had me on something called Pitocin, which like speeds up and intensifies your contractions. And my natural contractions were already doing the thing, to where the contractions that I had naturally going on and the contractions that the Pitocin was doing, they were overlapping themselves to where it was just one big contraction. And I like was screaming for them to turn it off. Like, why? Turn it off. I can't do this. I don't have any break between, even in a natural childbirth, when you're pushing and having all the things go on, you do get a bit of a break between contractions, but these were overlapping to where for probably 20 minutes, they wouldn't let it stop. And I'm like, I can't do this. And then my son went into like heart distress. He couldn't do it either. And they're like, oh, we might need to hurry and get you in for C-section. I'm like, you designed this. That's what you wanted all along. Not having it. And I shut it down right then and there. And I said, no, let's turn that off. I don't want that. And so then my body was more than willing to go, but on its own time. And it was going pretty quick. It was my second kid. Generally speaking, statistically speaking, your second child is usually born much quicker than your first. And that was very much the case. I was admitted to the hospital at 8:40 p.m. As far as like they let me get there and they said, okay, you're not, I don't know if you're in active labor or what, but I knew I was, obviously. So they're like, walk for an hour and then we'll see. So I got there at 7 something, but it was like 8:40. They admitted me. He was born at 12:39 a.m. So within 4 hours ish, he was here. And not with the help of that Pitocin. That only just intensified things in a way it didn't need to be. So yeah, fun times. You got those too. Oh, it's funny because the first time they put me on Pitocin, and it was just because they had to induce me the first time. So my body wasn't naturally contracting anyway. So the Pitocin would do it and then it'd ebb off, and I could handle that. But if you're already in active labor and they crank up the Pitocin, there's no reason for that. Like, get me off my soapbox. Get me off my soapbox. But back to the task at hand, or what I was saying is that's what they've done energetically with all these events, with just all the chaos in the world. It's like natural contractions with Pitocin over it, to where there's no break. It's just boom, 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 boom. Everywhere you look, another news article, someone's missing, this thing's bad, banks are collapsing. Oh, Super Bowl, let's harvest all your energy. This. Constant. There is no break until you say no. And you close the laptop, put down the phone, step away from the social media yourself, because no one's going to do it for you. So this is about us as conscious creators deciding, no, you're not going to dictate any agenda for me anymore, any narrative. That's on me to do. That's my choice. That's my decision, how I move forward. And that doesn't mean that you won't pick up your phone and see another whatever going on, but you do have the choice to decide, am I going to jump down this rabbit hole and find out everything I can about this event that they have going on? Or am I going to pull my energy back and pour it into my creative project, my book series, my writing, my painting, my gardening, whatever it is you're focused on, your family, your sports, your work, whatever, you know? All right, soapbox over. Let's move on to our donation portion for today. And we have 2 donations, both one card pulls from Marlene. And then Brianna, she wanted me to timestamp. So Marlene, if you're still here, my dear, I will go check and see if you put your question in the comment of PayPal. But if not, go ahead and post your question. Go ahead and post it. I don't think I see one here. Feel free to post your question. We'll get right into that for you. And then Brianna will be on deck. We will timestamp for her. Still here. Awesome. She loves the analogy. Yes. I mean, that's what it feels like. And that's what it's been feeling like, honestly, since COVID, since 2020, really. It's just felt like, and it's really amped up since 2024, if you ask me. But again, that's this new energy, this new, new underlying energy is coming in with this cross of the Sleeping Phoenix and the cross of penetration coming in to replace the cross of planning and the cross of Maya, the cross of illusion. So the truth shall set us free. Oh, you have to go. I forgot to make a sandwich for S&K. We'll come soon. No worries. We'll see you later, Versha. How can I become more of my true self and stand in my own power? Okay, well, first and foremost, knowing your strategy and your authority and your type in human design can really narrow things down. You can save yourself from wasting a lot of time. Someone like me as a pure generator, goal setting in the traditional way that people set goals does not work. It can work sometimes if I have certain gates illuminated or maybe certain transits are going on that it's actually kind of fueling that ability for me. But just as in my normal natural essence, I usually need, it's what I'm seeing that energy for me personally is as like water that has no container. But then I say someone places a riverbed and then it bends and then it moves and then it curves and it goes forward. Then I can direct my energy. It's very similar, whatever your type, your strategy, and your authority are kind of the core 3 to really focus in on, if you don't know. But let's tune in. Just anything else in over and above that. I forgot to set my timer. Let's do that. For Marlene, go to my clock. Over and above all that, what does Marlene need to know about being able to become more of her true self and stand in her own power? Okay. So this one came out first. The Sacred Union, Partnership and Romance. It was in reverse. We have the number 27, which adds up to a 9. So it's about closing out cycles. So there could even be, and I'm more reading this, the sacred union of your own inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine, first and foremost. And then you can reverberate that out to your romantic connection. Then you can reverberate that out into your connections with other people, your community, your state, your country, the world, like that. But there is maybe this just off-kilteredness with and when I say balance of your own inner divine masculine feminine, it doesn't mean 50% masculine and 50% feminine. What I'm seeing it more as is like the yin yang symbol. It's like the feminine yin energy. I think that's and then the yang is the masculine. But the feminine is the black side of the yin yang symbol with just a tiny dot of masculine. And if you look at the way this world is shaped or constructed, most women have to be in at least 50+% of their masculine energy, just especially if she's single. She's going to have to be even more of her masculine energy just to work in the current system that's at place. They'll go to work, pay your bills, do all these things. That system is not set up for any kind of feminine energy much at all. So there is this more inner balance of really leaning more into your feminine and then just having a drop of that energy be masculine rather than so much of it be masculine, masculine, masculine. And then when it's time to be in your feminine, it almost feels uncomfortable. But then we have here the Eagle King, the big picture and angelic help. So this isn't something you're going to have to consciously like puzzle out, parse out, try to figure out. This is something naturally that's happening for you, wanting to get more into your feminine energy. And that does not look like you putting on makeup and pretty pastel colored dresses and doing your hair and twirling around and being a traditional housewife. That is performative femininity. Looking into true divine femininity or the divine feminine, that's where you're kind of naturally being guided by your own spirit to be able to embody more of that creative life force energy. We have the 12. The 13 is the true original divine feminine energy, death and rebirth, chaotic feminine. They've got this 12, the original 13 zodiac, 13. We have 13 moon cycles a year, but yet we have 12 zodiacs sign. They completely leave Ophiuchus out of it, which is it's not technically the 13th sign. Technically, it would be the 9th sign, making Sagittarius then the 10th, and then on and on and on like that. Because it's like in Scorpio, between Scorpio and Sagittarius. If you look in the sky, that's where that is. And true sidereal astrology actually uses Ophiuchus as part of the setup of the original blueprint of what's going on here. So this is about, even if these underlying calendars and time and zodiacs and whatever it looks like, it's already put upon you as kind of the container through which you have to live your life, Marlene. Even if it's still like, okay, every day I got to get up, got to get the kids ready for school, got to take them to school. Certain things are kind of set. I won't say in stone, because there's obviously ways you can wiggle and make that happen. But there's something shifting to the way you show up in that role or in performing these things that you do day after day, that's going to have more of your divine feminine creative life force energy behind it. Oh, you checked your type once, forgot it was a while ago. Yeah, it might be beneficial just to brush up on what that is, because no one can tell you how to do anything better than your own inner authority and your own response to life. It's literally encoded into your DNA, I can see how I have been feeling that that feminine side of me wants to emerge stronger. Yeah, and this is just a natural, even if it doesn't happen overnight or tomorrow or 3 weeks from now, but maybe, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, a year from now, whenever you're really feeling the full force of, I really want to move into my feminine, then you can feel free to do that. I mean, there's steps you can take now, just tuning in, just even asking, what does my divine feminine want me to embody more of, or step away from, or stop doing, or, because we think, oh, we got to do something. We got to do something. That's masculine energy doing. The feminine is the being. It's just receiving. It doesn't have to be this vapid, no thought in your head kind of blink, blink. What do I do now? That's not it. It is so intelligent. The divine feminine is literally source incarnate. It's so intelligent that all of these, what we consider logical masculine aspects, it blows that out of the water. It is so intuitive and divine, and it goes beyond all these systems that are in place, because this whole matrix has worked to contain or suppress or dilute the feminine into thinking it's almost worthless, if you really look at it. And they've even done this on just the most natural scale of devoiding or denaturing all of the seeds of their divine feminine life force. I mean, they've made them all sterile. I mean, all of these GMO seeds, they don't have the original encoding, and they're a lot of them are sterile seeds. So you can't even take the seeds from the fruits and vegetables you grow and actually have another crop or harvest come from it. It dies there. And that is so against the divine feminine and natural order of what this planet is supposed to be, that it's not even funny. So it's going to come to you in a lot of different ways. And it's hard to just put this into a one-card poll. I think a lot of things that we ask here, it's like we could go on for years and days and years, getting more insight about all of these things. But hopefully I gave you at least a little jumping off or a starting point to be able to figure something out for yourself. Yes. Yeah, it is hard to find fruits with seeds in them. And that's, again, that's not because they wanted to make eating fruit more convenient. They don't give a crap about how we struggle, obviously, because look what's going on all the time, every day. Oh, we removed the seeds or made them seedless so that they're easier to eat. I call BS. You're doing it to literally like castrate things. It's, yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you loved it. But yeah, you'll just start to feel this pull of your divine feminine, just pure source creation life force start to come out. Even if once a day you just kind of check in and say, just close your eyes and put your hands on your heart or your womb or wherever feels one on each heart and womb, and just breathe and be, and try to get your mind out of it. I mean, a lot of insight might come in through the mind because that's what it's for, is to bring that insight in a way we can understand on a human level, but allow these insights to come in and then you can kind of marinate on them, maybe doing some journaling and all of that. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we also had a donation come in from Crazy Tempest for a full read. So we're going to get into Brianna's question and then Crazy Tempest's question for sure. Okay. All right. So let's go to Brianna's, which is here. So please channel a divine message for me. Timestamp, please. Yes, thanks for the reminder on that. We will timestamp. So Brianna, we're at 1:26:21. Okay, perfect. So let's get into a channel divine message. We're going to go to Britt's Third Eye Tarot. A channel divine message. And I think we'll still use, oh, they're under my little notepad. We'll still use one of these as well for our kind of initial guidance. Divine message. Ooh, here it is. We have the eyes of beauty, positive expectations and clarity. And I just heard the eyes have it. Have you heard that expression before? The eyes have it. Let me Google what that even means, because I think logically I know what that means, but like, let me see. And now listen up. Arthur's barking. Alert, alert, alert. He's really getting rocking and rolling. Amazon truck must be here. Okay. So the eyes have it. It's not about the eyes. It's about I, like I meaning yes. So the eyes have it primarily means that a decision, vote, or choice has been decided in favor of the ayes, the yes, the affirmative votes, commonly used in parliamentary procedure to signal that the majority agrees. It is a pun on the phrase, the ayes have it, A-Y-E-S, pronounced like eyes. So it means yes. It's a yes. We have the 25, which is a very feminine number. And fun fact, maybe not so fun for you guys or whatever, but I thought about just changing my full read price to 25 because it's my life path, not 25, but the number 7. And it's just a little bit more, and I feel like then we'll all get the energy exchange we're looking for, but it's not done yet. But I think into the near future, maybe we're going to change the pricing just a bit, just a little, because I did not change with inflation like everyone else did. I just stayed where I was, but maybe we'll make just a bit of a leap. But 25, this is about knowing, in your deep knowing, but knowing through partnership. Your partnership almost acts as this anchor to allow you to embody this divine feminine energy, Brianna, to be able to birth it and bring it forward in a chaotic way. But chaos doesn't always have to be bad. Chaos is pure divine feminine energy. So you're birthing through your partnership with your spouse. Not the only way, but it's one of the ways he can almost act as a container for all of this through which you want to birth. Him just being there almost just acts as if he's the container. He doesn't even really have to do anything, but just be that, like, holding space, being present with you is very beneficial. But there's something really positive coming in for you. Let's see. I did not set a timer, but before we close out, let's see what this is. The eyes have it. So something you're saying yes to, and then we have a lot of, well, not a lot, but a couple. Yeah, kind of a lot. Okay, so we have the 10 of Pentacles. Well, there's like 3 generations here. Remember what I said about birthing or almost acting as this anchor for something. But that role could reverse almost when you're anchoring or acting as the vessel or the container through which to hold space for, you know, a child eventually through that partnership. Again, when you're ready. With this 10 of Pentacles, this is creating legacy. This is creating really strong, solid foundation and great new beginnings. We have the 3 of Cups. It's in reverse, but I'm not reading it as a true reversal. I'm just seeing that for now, maybe this is still a time right now where you're, instead of being out celebrating all these things that you've done or mingling with soul family and all this, you're kind of being more introverted right now with that energy. But there will be a time and place where you're bringing that soul-filled energy out to mingle with other people. Then we have the Knight of Wands, the Magician, the 2 of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so there are things that are moving forward very quickly, but there are other things you're planting the seeds for now that will create this longevity that you're going to need to create this legacy that you have here. Trying to get all of this in this like quick little 1-card pull is not probably going to happen properly, but I'm trying. With this Magician and 2 of Wands, it's like the sky's not even the limit. Whatever plans you want to set into motion, you have the ability, you have the true spiritual knowledge, the power, the wherewithal. Again, especially with the help of that containment of that divine masculine in your life to birth literal worlds, literal creations, literal systems, literal whatever you want. So powerful, so potent. I love this. I could just keep going and going on all of this. Is so good. Oh, yay. Interview was good. That is so refreshing. Like that feels like a breath of fresh air. Yes, I love that. All right, Crazy Tempest, it's your turn, my friend. Let's see. We have, yes, we have, oh, so go ahead and post your question. We don't have a question in PayPal. So go ahead and post your question and we'll get right into that for you. Arthur's once again like, listen up, listen up, listen up. Funny little puppy. Oh yeah, you didn't write anything. No worries. You can write your question here and that works for me too. Yeah, Jessa, I'm really excited about that. So did they have you like do like a mock proposal for them, or like what did they have you do in this interview, or was it just asking you more questions? I'm glad it went good, whatever it was. My fingers, toes, and everything are crossed for you right now. Like, not that you need luck, but like, who cares? A little bit of good luck couldn't hurt anyone, right? We're here for some good news, good luck, all the fun things. But I do see Ace of Cups on the back of the deck as I'm shuffling, which is, or sorry, Page of Cups, which is about good news, the surprising good news. All right, for Crazy Tempest, how will the rest of the month go? I have a license test for work at the end of the month. All right. Full read. We'll start our timer and get right into this. So, how will the rest of the month go? We'll kind of just tune into the overall energy of the rest of February for Crazy Tempest in alignment with the true spirit. So 3 of Swords. So this to me weirdly feels like past energy because on the back of the deck we have the Empress, which is about being able to manifest or create the reality that you're looking for. The way you don't say I am studying for something. Yeah. It's like, I just heard knocks, but it's like, not just like book smart. Thing about street smarts are going to be very important, especially if in the past, it doesn't have to be the exact same scenario or the exact same test for this license, but it could be something from the past similar. Because what I'm seeing, and it doesn't have to be back from 2008, obviously, but I'm seeing something, because we were talking about 2008 cycle, and then now the 2026 cycle was, 18 years removed from that last cycle, but the nodes are in the same position. So there could be something about the nodes, South Node, North Node, or Rahu Ketu in your chart that are amplifying something that is maybe creating some distress or worry or anxiety around, what if I don't pass this test? What if, what if, what if? But I'm seeing there's nothing standing in your way. You're going to be able to do this and more. Anything else Crazy Tempest needs to know? The rest of this month will go. License test for work at the end of the month. What does Crazy Tempest need to know? Yeah, like literally being able to move forward. This is the passing of a test right here. You passed. You did it. Congratulations. Good job. Of course, do your due diligence for whatever studying or preparation that you need to be able to make that dream a reality, or to be able to have that license test for work to make that happen. So don't just say, oh, Amanda said I was going to pass, so no worries, I don't have to study now. No, still do, of course, what you, so you can quit studying. Yeah, I pass, LOL, JK, JK. There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. No, keep doing your due diligence to take action in the direction of doing all the things you know you need to do to be able to be really confident in knowing you're going to pass. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you do all that you're called to do intuitively or just logically, it should be no issue at all. But let's just see, in addition to passing this test, just anything else Crazy Tempest needs to know about this rest of this month. You're going to complete something. This is the graduation card, passing of a test card. I mean, how many ways can we write it? At least 2 so far. 3 if we want to get her in the mix, because she can manifest whatever reality she wants as long as she feels supported and takes the proper actions to make this thing happen. Like, don't second guess myself and get into my emotions in it. Yeah, for sure. But also just making sure you know the material and what questions will be asked, or, to the best of your ability, be prepared is really what this says. Yeah, the only thing I will be happy about will be passing it the first time. There you go. You'll be able to do it. Yeah. And then I see, as a result of you passing this test, you may be able to move on in a bigger leap than just, okay, here's the next logical step. It's like, okay, I passed this test. Oh, next logical step. But instead you're like, boom, over here instead. So it's almost like there's this quantum leap that's happening as a result of you passing this test that you may not. Maybe you're like hoping something really big will happen, but I see that you may not even be consciously aware of how big of a quantum leap forward this will be for you. Even if it has nothing to do with the license that you're testing for, but as a result of you like having faith in yourself and knowing you're going to be able to move forward and do this, it's like a new opportunity is somehow opening up, like in the wall, like now there's a window or a door where there once was a wall. Let's go to this shamanic dream oracle, shaman's dream. Yeah, they were dropping hints at work of maybe moving higher up. I told them I believe it the day I see it. Well, there you go. Let's see. What is this quantum leap that these cards are trying to say for Crazy Tempest the rest of this month? Overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. There is your abundance card. And abundance goes hand in hand with Miss Plenty herself, the Empress. Just not taking my boss's job. He's the boss for a reason. Yeah. But this could even look like an outside opportunity, or just something that maybe is coming on your radar just as a result of you having confidence in yourself in this next leap forward. You're going to be presented with an opportunity that may have nothing to do with this specific job even. And the number 43, there's like that adds up to a 7, which is putting you in like spiritual alignment. Even if the job itself isn't like working at a spiritual retreat center or something, it doesn't have to be that on the nose of, ooh, this is a spiritual move. Let's get a card from this What's the News deck and just see if we can get any information about this potential opportunity, whether it's at the current job or a different opportunity, or if this is maybe even something just personal and not so much even career related. I swear these readings go by so fast. I just want to talk and get all the info we can. Anything else for Crazy Tempest about this opportunity? Ooh. Well, what were we saying about graduation card? Hello. Can we get more on the nose? I did ask that question earlier. Can we get more on the nose? I think the cards were like, yes, we can. Let's do it. Graduation card. It says here, leveling up, lessons learned, acquired wisdom. You can't make this ish up. Look at that. Yes, and yes. And then the other card that came out was new boo. New love, learning each other, and flirtations. It doesn't literally have to be a new relationship if that's not what you're looking for right now. But this could just literally be a new love of life, romanticizing life, new lease on life, especially after this level up energy. You can't make this stuff up. But graduation day, this is funny because I got engaged in February of 08, right before my graduation in May of 08. And instead of having a like engagement party and a graduation party, we just kind of smacked them together and had them all at once. And by we, I mean my now husband and I he graduated about a year, no, I lied, 3 years before me with that 2-year degree. And then I went on to get a 4-year degree in 3 years, if that makes sense. So technically it was kind of in my line of thinking, also his graduation party. Definitely not interested in someone. Wait for college. Well, there could be, again, this doesn't have to be like on the nose, new relationship. This could just be new love of life, learning new things, or maybe you're learning things about someone who's already close to you. Flirtations, again, think of more the energy when you're flirting with someone and how good that feels, but apply that to, I just passed this test and I feel really good. Yeah, like that. That's what this feels like. Yeah. I am actually, let's see, I'll be 44 in April. I was born in 82. But I took the first semester out of high school off because I was working forest fires. So I was working for that semester. And then I had planned to just do like community college to get like all the core classes out, then figure out my life after that. Cause I wanted to do like sound design. But yeah. Oh, I am about the same age. Okay. So maybe I am. That's cool. I didn't know. Because a lot of times people hear that I graduated from college for the last time in 08 and they're like, oh, I'm that age. I'm like, actually, technically I should have, if I just kind of did it like in alignment with like when I should have graduated college for good would have been 04. Because I graduated high school in 2000. So you would have graduated around 2004, 2003, 2004, somewhere in there. Yeah, you're in my age range for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, at least we'll have a great year. This fire horse. Yes. The year of the fire horse. Yeah. This is already like a year of new beginnings, but weirdly enough for you, Crazy Tempest, there's also some endings you're putting here that are going to quantum leap you into a new beginning you can't even see right now in the best possible way. So yeah, there's some good stuff coming. Absolutely. So I'd say let's just get one closing statement on this next month for you. Just anything else you need to be aware of. Okay, the moon and the page of cups. Well, there's an offer here. Definitely an offer or news. Very surprising news. And the moon, this is about trusting your intuition. Oh, and you're a fire tiger. So you ended a bunch of relationships and setting more boundaries for people. That's perfect. Yeah. And especially as we move into this new era. Oh, and then you have the star on the back of the deck. Look at that. As we move into this new era of the Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix in 2027, we're already feeling these energies. So to even say it's happening next year almost feels like a lie because it's happening now too. Like I'm already, a lot of people are already starting to feel like there's changes coming up in the world and in ourselves that we can't go back from, or that are going to be so radically different than what we're used to. It's going to feel chaotic almost. But that doesn't always have to mean bad, because people hear chaos and they think bad, negative. Page of Swords is just clarity and truth coming through. So there's going to be a lot of clarity and a lot of truth. especially like mental clarity or just being able to make decisions or choices for yourself that are in alignment with what you're here to do, who you're here to be. And if you're a fire tiger, you got some fight in you to make changes for things that are going to be more like just inclusive and individual. Like, it's not everybody has to be the same and look the same and feel the same and act the same and talk the same and walk the same. Like, no, I'm going to be my unique, completely individual self and not even put myself in any kind of box because I'm me. And how do I label me? I can't. I'm so multifaceted. No person could wear me as a ring on their finger because I'm so multifaceted. You can't even put me in a setting. Like diamonds have facets, multifacets. You're so multifaceted. You don't want to be put in a box. You don't want to be labeled. You don't want to be told who you are or what to do by people who don't know what your authenticity is. Yeah. So you're going to find a way forward this year, next year, into the next rest of your life to operate and move and work and design and live in ways that are so out of the box of who you used to be that you won't recognize yourself, but in the best possible way, because you're just sloughing off all of the rules and the masks and the false selves that other people told you to be or who you felt you had to be to go along to get along in these jobs and relationships and friendships and systems and world at large that just don't fit anymore. And that's kind of a big part of this fire horse energy for you, is just making those boundaries and ending relationships, ending doing things that don't feel in alignment for you anymore. And that doesn't mean that those people were wrong. It just means they're not right for you and how you were aligning with them into your future. And you have every right to make those shots or call those shots and make those calls for sure. Good job. Good job, Crazy Tempest. You're doing it. You're doing the thing. And I just heard, and I hear this sometimes for people, the rest of your life is the best of your life. That's always a good thing to hear. Because the best is yet to come. Somehow, somewhere in the distance of a future now moment, the best is yet to come. So if you felt like life has been handing you lemons and you haven't quite yet made lemonade, just your time to shine will come. It really will. I love that. It may not all happen this month, though, honestly. But there's something you're leaving behind that's going to be able to, you're going to be able to leave that behind and move into this new energy, which actually isn't new at all. It's just who you authentically and truly are. And you may even get some like deja vu, because I'm seeing like things that you really just desired as a child, or ways of just feeling or being that you felt as a child are coming back to you in good ways. Not like the trauma and the, well, you're not good enough to sit with us kind of bullying or any of that. None of that is coming. This is all just the authenticity of who you are before the world told you who you should be or needed to be or had to be is really coming up. Yeah, I always view life as what you make it, even if the poop's stick loving you. Yeah, absolutely. Life, it really is what you make it. It really is. I think that guy on Joe Dirt that could barely speak said it best. Life is what you make it. Oh, you've been working on past life stuff and noticed the similarities of the name since they wrote a book. Oh my God, that's so cool. When you can like get like actual real world knowledge of who you were in a past life, like that feels like game changing. So cool. I was able to do that with one of my lives. I have a name and a face. I didn't do anything that awesome. And in fact, I was an alcoholic in that life, but just knowing who I was is kind of like cool. And I was a guy in that life. I was a man. And in this life, I'm a man. Duh. Oh, that used to be such a joke. But my friend's like, there's a man and there's a man. Duh. Their life in this life current is so similar. It's crazy, but other lives were far off. Yeah, I'm so far removed from that person I was in that life. I was engaged to my now sister in this life, in that life. Never got to marry because I died in a mine fire explosion, whatever we want to call it. Yeah, back in 1917. Craziness. I mean, why couldn't I have had a cooler life than dying in underground in a mine shaft? Like, I mean, my ego would have come up with something much cooler than that, but that's what I got as one of them. And a lot of them I had off planet, so it's not like I could even go research and try to find out who I was, because that info doesn't exist on this planet at all. So I just have to trust my intuition on all that. But Versha's back right as we're wrapping up. Well, we will be back on Wednesday, Woo Woo Wednesday next week with chills. We're going to do the eclipse special next Wednesday. And then Friday, we're going to be doing our drawing and giveaway. And you heard it here first. We're doing $13 full reads on Friday, the 13th. So be there. Be there, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to do our giveaway. We're going to do our drawing, and we're going to do $13 readings. Or maybe we'll do $13.13 readings in honor of Friday the 13th, divine feminine energy. Yeah. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. No worries. But if you feel so inclined, whatever you want to do. But yes, I will. Oh, you missed that part. Yeah, I just announced that. That was actually Jess's suggestion the other day when we were talking back and forth about the $13 full reads, kind of as a giveaway, as a thank you. And we're also still doing our actual giveaway and drawing on that day. It was supposed to be a donation only live stream, but we'll bump it. We'll bump it a week and just call it a day on that. So big week next week, if you ask me. We've got the eclipse special, which is going to be big fun stuff. Thank you, Crazy Tempest. You're awesome. Big hugs. You're so sweet. Thank you. Yes, big eclipse special. We're really going to dive into where this is taking place. And if you know your own chart, well, I'll kind of give you the tropical and sidereal / Vedic placements of where this is happening. And we'll go from there. We'll really dive in what this means. A lot of it, I can already just sneak peek you right now. A lot of it is the false systems. This is taking place in Aquarius. A lot of these false systems are failing fast. Let's just put that out there. And again, the eclipse quarter of the 2 weeks between the solar eclipse that we're having first and then the lunar eclipse 2 weeks later. So the 17th of February, I do believe, is the day of the eclipse for the solar eclipse. That would put 2 weeks later, March 3rd. Ooh, that's a day out from Boston's birthday, my oldest son. So he's going to be having some pretty, and his because his sun, obviously, and moon, he was born on a new moon. His sun and moon are in Aquarius, and he's a Leo ascendant. So it's going to be looking at his ascendant from Aquarius. So it's going to be a big transformational time for that boy. And my husband's an Aquarius ascendant, but I want to say he's Shatabisha, and this is happening in Dhanishta Nakshatra, which comes before. It's still in Aquarius, but it's also in part of Capricorn, where this eclipse is taking place. But it's going to be fully in Aquarius, let alone maybe potentially Pisces for Western astrology. I'll have to look at the degrees to know what I need to talk about the tropical placement for this eclipse special we're doing. But we're going to not just, even if you don't understand astrology, it's okay. Because I'm going to get into the nuance of what it means. What does, you don't need to know what Dhanishta Nakshatra means. I'll spell it out to you, like what's coming and what's going on. Right, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Fun times are coming, and fun may be relative term for certain people. Are gonna be like, I hate every second of this, and other people are like, actually, I was born for these times. I mean, the age of Aquarius, it really, I mean, even if it's, some people say it's still 200 years away, other people say it's 100 years away, other people say it's 30 years away still, and some people say we're already in it. Wherever you fall on that spectrum of age of Aquarius, energetically, we have already completed a 26 and some odd thousand year cycle. A big 400-year cycle is about to close out next February 15th. So we're a little over a year out from this big transition for human design. We've been closing out all these cycles or starting new cycles all over the place. So since 2020, really since 2012, the end of the Mayan calendar. some people say we're actually now, if you count the original calendar without all this Julian and Gregorian crap, using the 13 month year, we're just now or recently we're in the year 2012. I don't know. I didn't look enough into it to, because I don't think it matters, really. Energetically, we can feel it. So we don't have to point to, oh, it's this that's causing it. Like, we can feel it. So, like, it's kind of fun and nice to know the details of it all or why things are happening. But yeah, it's in the Akashic records for sure. Which we can, as this matrix collapses, so do those Akashic records, because it is part of the grid here. And then the true, records of what was going on actual Earth. I think they're called something else, but I don't know. Potato. But yeah, I looked into it. It was just to throw the concussion. Oh, okay. Good. So you looked into the Mayan calendar, and actually, it should be this date, should be that date. Yeah, I mean, I looked into it back in like 2017, I want to say. And I want to say around that time, they're like, oh, no, this is the real 2012 or something. But some say it was like 2030s, closer to the 2012 mark. I don't, again, does it really matter? Because we're feeling it. We're feeling it, aren't we, guys? Yes, we are. All right. Well, I'm going to go have some lunch, let my pups out, have all the fun. I have 2 basketball games to go to tonight. So I might even sneak in a nap, little 10 to 20-minute power nap before I got to go take kids or pick kids up, I should say. So yeah, it really, you're exactly right, Crazy Tempest. Yeah, it doesn't matter because time is man created. Absolutely. For sure. It's just a construct like so much else. Oh, you're gonna donate? Oh no, go ahead. I still have time. No worries. Feel free. No, I'm still here. No worries at all. And I just got chills, so this is important. Go ahead. Feel free. I'll take a quick drink. And you can, of course, always send your question either here or through text or whatever you want to do. But yeah, we're feeling it. That is definitely a given. Yeah, I almost always have time, unless I literally had to be somewhere, but I don't have to be there until, technically, I don't even need to show up there and get a spot in the line. We've kind of worked it out with Wrigley. There are certain days I do that, but I didn't plan to do that today anyway. I wasn't going to even leave my house until after 3, and it's only 1:19, so I got plenty of time for everything I want to do before I go. So you're good. I mean, we've been live here 2 hours, and then we were live about, I don't know, 18 minutes over on the other live stream before they cut us, and then they only allowed us to have 11 minutes of that live stream. I'm going to go back and watch it and see and try to remember what I said that wasn't kept on that stream, because it feels very relevant. All right. Her question just popped up, so let's get into it. I can't believe they chopped it either. I mean, I've had them cut my feed before, but I don't think I've ever had them take off a significant portion of said feed. Ever. So that was crazy. Let's see what we got here. Okay, opening it up. Logging in. Okay. All right. So how are the planets impacting me with this parade in Aquarius with the moon for February, March, and May? Clarity of what I need to know. Pure source creation energy. All right. So just the underlying energy of this is Aquarius already is a very collective sign, right? Yeah, you have a good weekend as well. I'll enjoy the games. Thank you. Have a good one, Crazy Tempest. Good to hear from you. Good to see you. Thanks again for your donations. Yes, but for you specifically, Versha, what does this mean? With all these planets in Aquarius with the moon for February, March, and May, what you need to know from pure source, creation energy. Well, there's a release. A little burp. Little release. Maybe a big release, but definitely a purging of old frequencies, old energies, just that don't need to be there anymore. And then we have 7 of Pentacles. This is like patience energy. There's nothing really crazy that you have to address. No big like whiplash of decisions that need to be made. This is more of a release, or, I always call this like the nurturing card. It's like going out in the garden, plucking out the weeds, shooing off the pests that are getting on your plants or what have you. So there is this kind of very much self-care energy. Um, and correct me if I'm wrong, that would put Aquarius as your sixth house, which makes sense. Just self-care is very much embroiled in that sixth house. Your health, your wellness, digestive tract is very much Virgo, Virgo, or AKA original sixth house energy. Yes, my concern is when it comes to S, the way he's behaving, the fights are escalating. I feel like running away, right? Interestingly enough, as I said health and I was talking about you, I just remembered also he's also a Virgo ascendant, but I see maybe potentially his health will be impacted in a way where anger is going to bring up density that will result for him in some health concerns. But we have the strength card, so it's not like, life or death kind of stuff. But there may be some health issues. I'm seeing, like, especially with the heart or blood pressure, something potentially with like blood sugar, things to do with blood, not like there's an injury or a cut, but like blood within the body, like blood pressure specifically. Because I'm seeing it like a thermometer, and like the cartoon face when their face gets like, it's pink and then it's red and then it's dark red and then it's maroon and then it like just something's exploding, like anger explosion. But let's see what this means for you, because he's on his own. What does this mean for you as far as his anger and like explosive energy? Because again, we know these eclipse times are very explosive energies. Even if they're in the mildest of nakshatras, there's something explosive that almost always happens with these eclipses. So we have Six of Pentacles and then the Four of Cups. Four of Cups, this is about, I just heard, this here says, okay, I'm hearing do the exact opposite. Where'd it go? I dropped it. Oh, here it is. Ugh. I heard do the exact opposite. It says try not to be so picky, okay? Well, I'm hearing do the exact opposite. So be very picky about what minefield you are going to get into with him. Or, if there's something he's doing that's not okay to you, that's about allowing those boundaries to be firm. With the Six of Pentacles, every blessing you give will eventually be returned. But this is almost about, I would almost, give this like a Four of Pentacles energy here, of someone who's nickel and diming and looking for all the little bits of abundance around, because they're like in almost like a scarcity mindset. Let's see what the scarcity mindset is bringing up. Actually, I'm going to go to the Pantha Oracle. What is this scarcity mindset bringing up at this time as a result of S's anger for Versha during this February pile up of planets? Reservation, desire, worth, and extravagance. So these limiting beliefs or lack mentality, scarcity, specifically around what it is you desire in life, or you feeling unworthy of what you desire, your own self-worth, or feeling like, oh, I'm too much. I can't shine too bright. I don't need fancy jewelry. I don't need fancy things. But this is saying, well, why not? Why don't you deserve those things? So his anger may bring up issues within you of self-worth, and he may literally even bring up how much money you spend, or where is the money, or I gave you everything, or try to make it financial in some weird way with his anger. Advice and wisdom and guidance for Versha through this anger and potential. Trap, victim, allure, trick. Again, it's about not falling victim, not stepping into his trap, because it's like he's going to bait you to get you to explode toward him. That's what he wants. Why does he want that so bad? It's almost like he feels like, well, if you're angry at him or toward him, at least there's emotion there. So it's almost like, but again, it's not from this, well, I want her to show emotion so I know that she loves me. It's more of a I need to feed off this energy kind of vibe. Yeah, we're dealing with financial issues, too much expenditure and giving away. He's being really careful with what he eats these days. Will it come out on me or work? This feels work related. Something with work is really the real trigger here for him because he's overworking himself. And that's a choice he makes every single day. That's not on you to be like, oh, maybe you're working too hard. Like, you're not his mom. You're not his mother. He's not a child. You shouldn't have to help him regulate himself. Like, that's on him. That's his responsibility. I've been asking for my own jewelry to be brought back here. Also getting my monthly money just $250. Yeah, that's just, I mean, it almost feels to me like there's an expenditure report. Like, if he were to have to hire a cooking, a chef, if he were to have to hire an Uber to take his daughter to her activities and school, if he were to have to hire someone to cook and clean, we did cooking, clean the house, a laundry service to launder the clothing and the bedding. It's almost like if you were to be able to add up all the time you spend doing these things and a dollar amount, even on the low end dollar amount of these services being hired out, if people were to have to do these for him, to show him you're worth so much more than 250. Not that you're asking for $10,000 a month expenditure to just go do whatever you want. That's not what you're asking. But 250 is like a tiny little morsel of the work that you actually do. And even if you did take the month off and just needed some severe rest, he should still realize that you deserve just because you're his wife, just because you're there anyway. It's not because of what you do even, but he's always like equating it to what did you do? I did this. What did you do? Like, energetically speaking. I don't know if he literally does that, but energetically speaking, it's like he's always like, well, I did this. What did you do? Well, I literally gave you a child to carry on your legacy. That's something you could never do on your own. And in fact, if he had to hire someone out to be a surrogate, he would have to, if he didn't have a wife, he would have to buy an egg from someone. Then he would have to, pay to, create the sperm in the cup to then, what do they call, inseminate. That's a whole other process there. And then to pay a woman to gestate that egg and sperm, the embryo to term. Almost no, you can, it's going to be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's more anger. Yeah, it's just, I feel so bad. Yeah, let's just get some advice and guidance for you. Saving. Weird, because we were just talking about money and you think, oh, saving, like literal money. But no, this is about energy, preserving your energy, saving your energy. We have reservation here, and I'm hearing preservation of your energy. Oh, and then there's preservation is right there. Okay. So I wasn't just hearing that in my mind. There it is. And then collection and meanness. I think they meant means, but it does say meanness, right? Meanness. But to me, I'm hearing or reading that as meanness. He's being mean. Let's just see if there's anything. I know our time's up, but let's just see if there's any information we can get about a potential swap with all of this. It just may be that density, that anger needs to rise to the surface for this swap to even be a potential, because he's been, as much as he seems he's been projecting it onto everyone, sure, yes, that's valid. But there's so much of it he just keeps as like a resentment backpack full of bricks that he's not willing to offload all at once. Because it's almost like he's identifies with being an angry person at this point. Let's see, anything else Versha needs to know about potential swap happening this month? It's getting difficult. 8 of Cups. Your life feels stale. Explore some new scenery. But this is also that card about walking away or going on the hero's journey. So it's almost about, okay, I can't change the outside circumstance, but what I can do is go within and shift things from inside out. So the fact your external relationship, your home life, life in general with your relationship with him isn't looking the way you want it to. This is about, instead of focusing on him as the thing that needs changed, because that puts the power away from you, that takes your power away completely. This is saying to instead not focus on something he needs to do, but just focusing on your own inner being, because that alone will have to trigger some event, maybe not in February, but as a result of this, a moving forward, whether it's with or without him, with a new spirit or a divorce or whatever that looks like specifically. It may not happen this month, but there's something with the catalyst of these trigger points in Aquarius, which puts that in your 6th house, right? Am I thinking that right? Yeah, because Leo is across from Aquarius. Okay, yeah. So that would be Leo would be your 5th house, or sorry, 12th house. Yeah. So this to me very much feels like a shift in health, a shift in your daily routine, a shift in maybe the food that you're consuming, big emotions. Feel a spasm in solar plexus. Yeah. And this is like the control that the Matrix has on him. He would be more than happy to be the Matrix's puppet as far as from his point of consciousness that has access to right now, because it's worked for him all these years. But that again, with this cross of the sleeping phoenix coming alive in 2027, it's already alive for so many of us, but the greater of humanity is going to start really feeling it when it starts kicking off as of February next year, to where there's no choice but to get with the program or go down with the ship, go down with the Matrix, or have a really difficult time in the new energy. But you're made for these times, Versha. You're made for this new energy. So you're going to thrive and figure it out, even if that looks like a separation of you and him eventually. The moon's on the back of the deck. Taking time for deep self-reflection is essential. Yeah, journaling, those your meditations, shamanic journeys, whatever. It's about, instead of putting that focus and feeling almost like a victim in your own relationship, putting that onus on him, and instead coming back within and realizing, and again, this is the hardest part because we're living these realities, realizing that everything we see, taste, touch, hear, smell isn't even real. It may be a version of real, but it's not who we truly are. Versha is not who you truly are. Amanda is not who I truly am. These are almost roles that we're playing right now. And I always say this as, think of it as Brad Pitt, as an actor who was in the movie Interview with a Vampire. Well, think of our incarnation as we forgot that we are playing a role of Louis, I think was his name in that movie. I'm playing this role of Louis. Well, I'm Louis now. Like, I think I'm Louis. I forgot I'm actually Brad Pitt playing a character. And in fact, the character I'm playing is like many, many years, 200 or however many years removed from where I'm actually at right now as Brad Pitt, the actor, in the 90s when he played that role of Louis back in the 17 whatever of this vampire that he, so it's about remembering who we actually are. And that can also help us realize that none of this is real, even though it feels real. Our emotions are real. All of it feels so real while we're here, but it's a remembering of who you truly are. And when you start embodying more of that truth, more of that truth, more of that truth, that's why, Versha, it's not your fault, but that's why things are so complicated and so difficult. Compare this to, say, 7 years ago, before all of this awakening stuff and spiritual path and all that. Compare your relationship to back then. I'm sure it wasn't perfect, but I mean, you were probably just going along with what he wanted and, just continuing status quo. But the more you rise in your vibration and realize this status quo is not what I want, the more friction is between you, because you're not in the same vibration as him. So every time you have to come together to relate, it gets more and more and more difficult until something's got to give. Either you walk away or he walks away or that spirit swap happens or something. But it's basically the evidence that you have in your day-to-day reality is actually really good news, as weird as that sounds, because it lets you know that you've gone so far in the direction of your authenticity that old version doesn't align anymore. Because I can guarantee you he's very much If obviously he's had to become a more extreme version of himself because you've become a different version of yourself in these years, say example 7 years past. But that version of him that's coming out now was already in there, just waiting to be activated with this anger because he no longer has that amount of control over you that he once did. Or you're more unpredictable, or you're not just going along with the way things used to be. And he may even blame you for that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously you can blame me. I changed, but we're supposed to keep evolving and changing. That's what a lot of people forget. Big example I use is my grandma was the same person. The day I remember my earliest memory of her, she was the exact same person as she was the day she died. There was almost no evolution, no change, no healing, none of it. She just kept wallowing in her traumas from even before I was born, years and years back. And I always just, maybe not consciously, but very subconsciously, intuitively knew I don't want to be the same person I was at 15 as I am at 44 or 69 or 102, however old I become. I don't want to always be that same person because I want to keep evolving back into who I truly am and not just wearing all these false masks of who I was told to be. Yeah, I'm not going along the way things were going. Yeah, maybe connecting with the new dragon energy that come in will help me expand more into my true essence. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not giving in at all, and that's why now I am. Either you come in completely or we part ways. Yeah, because think of this. If S is the exact, because this, we have no control over others. We only have control over ourselves. But if 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, S is the same version he is today, could you continue? And if the answer is no, at some point there will be a splitting of energies. If the answer is, well, I could, but I'm going to have to dim myself, that's not in alignment with your true spirit. So it's giving you very clear evidence in your day-to-day reality that something's out of alignment. Yeah, and if it's even a no now, that's your answer. And it's almost you just being resigned to the fact that, okay, it's a no from me, dog. um, and then just letting your spirit know, hey, it's a no from me. And then new paths, new steps, new things will be illuminated for you to go in new directions, as I'm sure you have been, that will open the doors, open the gates. And especially going into this new energy, these systems of oppression just they won't have this iron grip on us anymore the way that they have. I'm still here. Yeah, I was about to go off, and then Versha wanted a question, so we did hers, and then yes, we did yours. I do have your timestamp. I wrote it. We're at 1 hour, 26 minutes, 21 seconds for Brianna. But I will also write that down. But just in case I forget, I think I forgot to write last week's live stream or last Wednesday's live stream timestamps. I think now that I'm thinking back, I think I forgot to. But just in case I forget, 1 hour, 26 minutes, 21 seconds, Brianna, is your timestamp. I stated that I am staring at a dead end. Please open the gate to a new route, please. Yeah, there you go. And just having faith that your spirit will come through. Blind faith that your spirit will come through and illuminate a path or open a door or put a window where there once was a wall. Even if you have to work hard to climb out a window rather than, take an ice pick or a chisel or something, a pickaxe, that's what I'm looking for, to the wall, it's probably going to be easier if you could just climb through a window or open a door, obviously. But sometimes in life, we do have to maybe get out of situations that we're in. But yeah, maybe the trust is lacking. Yeah, just having that full faith and doing what Carrie Kay says, ask, how good can it get? How good can it get? Because for at least however long you've been married to him, maybe there were good moments, obviously, but a lot of what you've been doing is either having to keep yourself anchored down into his vibration or repressing or holding back those really expansive parts of yourself because it doesn't align with who he is. And it sounds to me like you're just done doing that and have been done doing that for a while. But it's kind of it almost feels like people who wake up and they wanna step out of the matrix. They don't wanna have to pay bills and taxes and grind and do all these things. They wanna live in alignment with their spirit and do the things that light them up, but they still have to participate by paying their taxes and their bills and putting food on the table. So in effect, they're still having to go to this job that they hate. But instead of, just pulling the rug out from under yourself and just going out in the wilderness and trying to make it, you start making plans, you start learning new things, you start taking actions in a direction. Maybe that job that sucks your soul, maybe you're training or learning things for a whole new job, or becoming, starting your own business, becoming an entrepreneur. You're like, it's like you're still in the world but not of it. You're still in the relationship but not dictated by it, if that makes sense. It's kind of a similar parallel. And because so much of his energy is very much plugged into what this false matrix represents, it's almost like you saying no to the matrix is you saying no to him, saying no to the life that you currently have. But that can be scary when you're in a foreign country on I think it's called a visa, um, tied to his job, tied to your relationship with him, that if you were to break that contract, that marriage contract, question mark, what does that mean for me? That can be very my heart goes out to you. That's a very, human fear, scary kind of place to be. Yeah, I'm done with the capital D. I hear you. I really hear you, and I can sympathize like crazy. But it's like you just asking your spirit, "What's my next step? What's my next step?" You don't have to have it all figured out before you make one step forward. This is about you just really deciding, "No, it's a no from me, dog. I can't financially and legally maybe leave right this second, but like that doesn't mean you can't start taking actions and making plans and doing some due diligence actions to start aligning you with a new future, a new reality for your future." Yeah, the Matrix was whooping my butt. I just couldn't understand how to live a lie. And then I remembered I'm a effing alchemist. Literally, mic drop. Enough said. That's so, like I said, it's like us trying to squeeze ourselves into these, like, you're as big as I am right now, trying to squeeze your light and your vibration and your whatever into this tiny little Lego house. It's just not going to work. And if it does work, it's not going to work that long before something breaks. Look, I already broke it. Not literally, but like the TV came off the, oh, and now it's in my lap. Oh, and now this, look, just me embodying and being who I am starts to crumble the old structure, literally speaking. Oh my gosh, you can't make this stuff up. I don't even know how that was secured on there. That does not look very secure. I digress. But yeah, you have to almost relinquish control of the outcome. If you knew your spirit had your back this whole time, there would be no fear. There would be no worry. But we're very much visual, like we're feedback loop creatures, that we need evidence of something different before we move, or I need to see it before I believe it. We need to get in that other mindset of I will believe it, then I will see it. Because that's truly how this energy thing works. It has to start from within us, or as energy, or as an idea, before it can be in the material world. But we treat it the exact opposite in this matrix. These matrix controllers know how it works. That's why they've orchestrated and created these systems the way they have. But if we were to start understanding and embodying and trusting the way that it works is spirit first, then this, then that, and then physical comes very last. But we're treating it as physical. I need physical proof before I can do anything. It's all just falling apart as I'm trying to put it all together. And funny enough, in the movie Up, the guy is done with all the rules and regulations. He was the only last holdout in his neighborhood, and there's just all these commercial and corporate buildings all up around him. And was getting in trouble. So he literally is like, F all this. I'm going to take what I love, which was his house and his memories with his wife in this house, and I'm going to up on out of this matrix, this hellscape of a neighborhood that I once loved, but that is now so unrecognizable to my spirit. Peace out. I'm flying away. He even flew to a place called Paradise Falls. I don't know. There's a lot of spiritual symbolism in the movie Up. So much so that I fell in love with that movie, and I even made Wrigley's, first birthday Up themed. I'll show you guys real quick before we go. I'll show you some pictures from Wrigley's Up party. I spent hours and hours and hours on the things in this party. I can't remember where. I think we moved the Up house out to the garage because it just would not fit in this tiny little bedroom. It's big. I painted every bit of that. It was a 3D puzzle that we bought off of eBay for like $112. And then I painted it because it was just wooden. And my husband put the puzzle together because I had all these other projects going on. He put it together and then I painted it. I created this big backdrop of the Paradise Falls and all the fun little, you'll see here. Let me go to my photos, albums. I let my creativity loose. So these are the front of the invitation. The invitation, my little baby, little Wrigley, he's so little. And that balloon arch thing was one of the hardest things I think I've ever done. Yeah. Just trying to get them all to stick to each other was fun. That's the overall. There's more close. I'll get into the details of it all too. I had the most trouble with all the balloon related things. Yeah, there's his name, Wrigley. I had so much fun with that. It was just this last summer that we threw away the Paradise Falls backdrop. It was in my garage all this time because I put over 100 hours worth of work into that thing. And it was just cardboard and like the packing paper that you get in like your Amazon boxes, like the craft paper. And I painted it and I drew on it and I sculpted it and yeah, all the things. So it was a really fun time. Little Wrigley with his bow tie. Even back then, he was dressing like a cool kid. I had too much fun with all of this. Except that this was so heavy. What I did with the balloon that was supposed to take the house up, you can kind of see underneath. I took a whole bunch of newspapers and wadded them up, and then I took masking tape and just made a big balloon-like structure, and then I taped on all these little water balloons that I blew up, and they kept falling off because I had this all done the night before, finished it up the night before, and set it up, and in the morning, I think there were at least 20 of those little balloons on the floor, on the table, all around, and I kept sticking them back on. But yeah, we had fun. I mean, he doesn't remember it, but he loves looking through these old photos at it. Way too much fun. And funny enough that the older my kids got, the less effort I put into their parties because they just were more about hanging out with their friends and could not care less about all the decorations and stuff. It's the little dogs. I don't know if you remember the movie Up where they had all the dogs and the little Funko Pop figures for Russell and Mr. Hendrickson or whatever his name. Can't remember his name right off the top of my head. I don't remember his name. I know the kid's name's Russell, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, yeah. Anyway. It was fun. So fun. Yep. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, but it was also so stressful because I would start these things like weeks in advance and then I'd come down to the wire night of staying up till like 3 in the morning and then I could barely enjoy the party because not only did I, work all night getting all these decorations, I also wanted to document it with my camera and make sure I got all the angles and the details. And so I'd say their parties are a lot more fun for me now as I can just literally show up with some Rosar's supermarket cupcakes and some Amazon ordered decorations. I didn't even do decorations for Wrigley's last party. And there was no theme. and this is blasphemy to 2014, 15, 16, 17, all the way up through 2020, Amanda. Because after that, I'm just like, I'm done. And the stress of it alone was too much for me. The creativity of it all, if there was no deadline, I would be able to do that. But I could never be like a party planner or make something come to life as a job because it'd be too much stress. But when I get on a whim and just want to create something and there's no deadline or time limit, that's where I can shine. I also do shine under this little bit of element of like deadline, put it off till the last minute kind of thing. Like I did that was my whole college life. Put everything, all these big projects, everything off till basically the last 3 days. After I had 3 weeks of a due date, I could get started and get working on it for 3 weeks. I'd put it all off till like the last 3 days. Why I do that to myself, I don't know. I don't know how I pull out what I do in that limited amount of time with that stress pulsing through my veins. It must be the ADHD. I don't know. I both love it and hate it at the same time, if that makes sense. But anyway, I should probably go get some lunch and get all this stuff done that I need to do. But I love you guys. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just maybe it's just this like someone tells me I have to do something. I really already I'm like, wait, but wait. I don't think I want to do that. Even if I do. Sometimes I do that. I'm not so much doing that these days, probably since even my awakening. If I don't wanna do something, especially this whole perimenopause fun stuff, I I don't do it, or I just say, "No, no, thanks." Like, I just won't. I just can't. I can't do it anymore. I can't keep going against what I want anymore. Like, this people-pleasing, doormat, kind of no backbone version of me has and is continuing to pass away every day that goes by, and I am here for it. Because I always used to think, well, if I don't do X, Y, or Z for this person, that person, that person, they're not going to think I'm a nice person. I'm over being the pick me, I'm a nice person. Because even if you think about it, that even in and of itself is manipulative because you have to know the outcome of how they, think of you or look at you is, oh, I like that person. I don't care. I mean, part of me does still care a little bit, but like compared to past version of me, I don't anymore. Like it's like there's certain people I'm like, well, I do want them to like me, like my husband and my kids and my mom and my family, but like random strangers out there could give no Fs. I mean, love ya, embrace you, spirit, sister in spirit, brother in spirit, love you, but like I'm gonna do what's in my whoa, did you see that? It was on this side this time, big orb. It was like that. Did you see that? Rewind it if you I'm gonna have to go back and rewind it. It was 2:32 when I just saw my clock. So a little bit before that. 2:32:22. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna peace out. How about that? You guys have fun. I love you. Oh, it's 9:53 p.m. here, and it's so weird. I bet that's weird because you're, US time zones and like now it's like night, nightfall. Like, how do I fall asleep? I can't. I'm gonna have to sleep in or something in the morning. All right, you guys, thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot on Woo Woo Wednesday next week. It's going to be like February 11th, I think is the date. We're going to be doing our big eclipse special. So if you miss it, you can always watch the replay. And then, of course, Friday the 13th, next Friday, a week from today, we're going to be doing our giveaway, our drawing, and $13.13 full readings on that day only. So be there for that. We will see you then or on Wednesday or hopefully at some point. Love you guys. Thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. Did I already do this part? I don't remember. I think I did. So I'm going to go. All right, you guys, much love, peace, and I will see you on Wednesday or whenever I see you next. Bye.